Hi there, I'm Nick Bernstein, and I just wanted to share a little bit about my experience in the field of user experience. My former internships and time at Columbia have taught me a lot, and I'd like to shed light on a couple of those projects. The first project was a mock-up for a Sunglass Hut style app for a UX certification course. All good projects start with a good whiteboard or glass board or whatever you have, and this enables you to get your ideas down quickly and share with your coworkers. Our app aimed to help underserved customers find what they needed in a store quickly and efficiently, and help them customize their pair. After the whiteboarding phase, we moved on to creating wireframes to boost the fidelity a little and help us make changes and omissions. We also made a paper prototype that enabled us to perform user testing on our colleagues. Every experience should be capped off with a good mockup. So we used Sketch to create a final UI and co-opted the iOS Gaussian blur and translucence technique to bring the menu some depth. The second project was for my digital image design class at Columbia. I say digital because that's a really cumbersome word to say. Anyways, I created a visual prototype of a kiosk for a children's museum exhibit. I used Illustrator to create most of the art, basing this first page off an Australian research vessel. I added clouds and water and colored the ship brightly, pairing it with a sans serif font to add to the flat design concept. I then created this test tube by layering the images in Photoshop and creating a clipping mask to give the appearance that the samples were inside the tube with a vector cork cap. For this page, I traced the west coast in Google Maps and created a composite of the three rivers to produce a simple, flat, and accurate map of the three rivers in the game. Man, I'm rhyming. I am in the game. One of my final tasks was to create the actual HUD, heads-up display, for the game. Basically, we were supposed to create affordances that offered the users an easy chance to pick the area with the compound somewhere within the riverbanks and drag it to a predefined capture area. I wanted to maintain the clean aspect, but give it a realistic look. The final page I kind of ripped off, I'll admit. However, I want to get into iconography and typography, so what better way to do that than to rip off the greatest designers of all time, Apple Inc. I took their Unicode emoji named Tada, but everybody just calls it the Party Popper, and messed around with the colors and the gradients to create a simpler effect, but yet less skeuomorphic and more flat. Skeuomorphism is when you try to take an object that is in a screen, or fake, and attempt to make it look real, or as if it has depth. Flat design has taken over skeuomorphism in the past few years, and I think that's a great thing. I hope you've enjoyed listening to my voiceovers as much as I've had fun creating them. I've re-recorded this 5 times.